Hello, welcome to the channel. We'll be wrapping up the last month of my 2024 reads. Quite the satisfying feeling, to say the least. So, the first review spread I'm working on here is a 38-chaptered fanfiction titled A Vast Difference in Taste, authored by Ghastly Lemons. Took me 2 days to complete it. It's actually one of the fics on my TBR list this year. And to tell you the truth, I went into this fic not expecting such a setup. I'll even go to say this fic is thoroughly a Ron bashing fic, even without Romana in it. I love Ron. Yes, I love Ron Weasley. I became a Harry Potter fan because of Ron Weasley. So I have to admit, I really get upset when he gets bashed in fanfictions. I also adore the Ron-Hermione relationship. I mean, I started shipping them first in the Harry Potter fandom. It was only later I strayed into Hermione and got stuck to them, of course. So to say that I don't think if canon Ron would be so old-fashioned domestically is, well, depends on the brilliance of the author. Then again, I suppose in the Deathly Hallows book, Ron did seem to show such characteristics, especially during the camping durations. But as far as to drugging Hermione to entrap her, really, I was honestly skeptical about the setup when I read the first few parts of the fic. But the author managed to anchor me down. As usual, I'm using AI-generated images for my fanfic journal. Just a couple of scenes from the story. So, if you can see from the images, throughout majority of the 38-chapter fic, Hermione is pregnant. And it's all Ron's fault. That the baby is Draco's. Well, babies. I mean, any woman would turn frenetic with what Ron did to Hermione. Give her a super strong fertility potion so she'd get pregnant and trapped enough to marry him. Like, whoa, dude. Understandably, due to this, Hermione broke up with Ron and ran to a pub to get drunk. And tan-ta-dan, who would arrive but Draco Malfoy. Totally fated by the author. And since Hermione was still freshly induced by that strong potion, coupled with a drunken night, she of course ended up with the Malfoy's heir in her womb. But all this aside, I absolutely love how responsible, respectful, and caring Draco has resigned to be after the war. But one thing I couldn't fathom was how Hermione would actually listen to his requests, when she herself refused in the first place to have children with Ron at that point of her life. Like, oh, you want your baby, Draco? Sure, I'll bear them for the next 9 months for you. At that thought, I do feel that for Hermione, who the father of her children do actually matter. But jokes aside, I do also understand why Draco was adamant to have his babies. He wanted the family of his own. Also in a way to prove that he no longer cares to continue the pure-blood supremacy in the Malfoy line. I like to indicate the index numbers of the reviewed fanfiction in conjunction with my reading log. Other than the 3 characters I've mentioned, I also love Narcissa Malfoy in this, a supportive mother-in-law would be. I grinned widely when she first found out she's going to be a grandmother of twins. Draco conveniently leaving that fact out. So yeah, I award this fic a 4-star rating. And yeah, I wondered too what the story was behind Draco and Pansy. I mean, what made both mother and son to treat her like that? I applaud the author with how she executed each character's feelings, like Hermione's doubts for Draco's affections to her, how he's always calling her mother of my children, made one think the guy's only caring because you're carrying his child. Too bad Draco is naive, like most men. Another great part of the story, I think, is the whole Rita Skeeter thing. I thought her retribution of what she did to people with her writings was pretty satisfying. Well, in conclusion, I think this story is overall about fate. Perhaps Draco Malfoy was the right man for her to finally think of settling down. Although, yeah, those godparents. Too much, I say. The second fic I'm reviewing is a long 81 chaptered story. Yep, very long. But I managed it within 3 days. It's a fanfiction titled The Gloriana Set, written by TB Moon. Yet another tick to my TBR list. It's a story set in the 8th year of Hogwarts for Draco and Hermione. Low-key my favorite trope for Hermione fics. To start off, I'd go straight to say I find Hermione rather OOC in the story. I mean, I accept that she tends to help people, but what I couldn't really master is the rather wild and flirty new version of her. Kinda put me off. Also, in the beginning of the story, I got kinda annoyed with how authoritative she was. But that aside, the Gloriana Set. The title itself is the star of the show, the Malfoy's magical heirloom hairpin. It's basically a gift a Malfoy man presents to his chosen bride, thus making her untouchable to other men, albeit just her hair. But of course, the item proves to be useful when it saves her from an assault. I love how Draco slowly really fell in love with Hermione for real. Initially, what he felt was just possession and rebellion to his parents. Oh, I also love the part where he even polyjuiced himself into a random muggle teenager just to be with her. Oh. AI images for this fic. What I also liked about this fic was how involved every other character was. Usually, I get bored reading non-Hermione scenes, but here, everybody seems great. Kudos to the author for that. Special mention to Assistant Aura Harry James Potter. Loved Harry in this. Like, yes, Malfoy, Harry Potter wears his boxes around Hermione. Get over it. And oh, Neville! He's one of my favorites too. Anyway, yes, I'm giving this fic a 4-star rating too. And of course, the new fairy DADA teacher. Why oh why didn't we have that in the actual canon books? We were given a ghost, a werewolf, and even a centaur for a teacher. But why not a fairy? I love her in the fic, and definitely also what she did with the classroom environments. Oh yeah, the whole die mudblood signs that popped up randomly. Those were actually good twists by the author. Kept me guessing of what or who actually caused it, but the eventual reasoning was rather brilliant. And of course, not forgetting Theo and Hermione. I love them too. Always adore love triangle stories of Hermione with Theo. When Theo is in love with Hermione too, just to clarify. Too bad his romance with Hermione was short-lived. Theo's a good guy, even Harry preferred him. Although, I found the interruptions when Hermione tried to break up with Theo were so predictable. In conclusion, I think it's a good fic, with quite a lot going on that you can manage. I'll rec it to those who haven't read it. For the other fanfictions I review them like this. I do intend to change the layout for 2025 though. Anyway, yes, like I said in my previous videos, I'm aware a section of the fanfiction community is opposed to rating fanfictions. But meh, it's my journal, I do what I like. And yeah, more AI generated images, the stars of my fanfiction journals. Yeah, I know. That's another thing some fans are opposed to, AI images. Well, I love them, so I'll have them. Like book reading journals, they use the book covers on the spreads. So for fanfictions, I choose a significant scene to generate on AI. And yep, Harry Potter isn't the only fanfiction I read. So right now, I'm just simply filling in spaces with some washi tapes and stickers. So this is my reading log. I'll color all the fanfictions that I reviewed just with random browns of my palette. So that's my favorite quote of the month from the fanfiction The Portrait by Arthur Ryder. I'll be using this unpeeled sticker, and with this washi tape, I'm gonna do like a flap window. Just for a simple interactivity. Anyway, I'm using pie charts for my monthly statistics. I'll also be using this app called Trace Table. Basically using my iPhone as a light box. And trace up the sections. listing down the tropes of the months first. Then I'll fill in the areas with my color pencils. Love to do it the old-fashioned manual way for this, just because. Lastly, carefully outline the sections. So, time for a flip through. Yep, I had a more than usual DNFs this time. Sad. And again this month, I managed to fill up all full 3 pages of my reading log. Yay! Well, I do intend to do a full 2024 flip through of this fanfiction journal soon, so do look out for that video, since I do have a lot to say on it. Well, I thank you all for watching up till here. Till then, happy journaling people, and bye bye.